everyone. There's a lot of people over 50 in Australia, around 8 million of us. So we need a TV show just for us. And this is it, Over 50, So What? I'm Carol. The show is designed to help us all have a fun, quality life as long as possible, where age is no excuse. Of course, a healthy diet is going to impact our quality of life. And Jamie Hayes brings us more information on eating habits to keep us strong, mobile, and help prevent the onset of frailty. Then it's time to join in the 5 minutes of fun fitness. And we go on a retro trip into the music, cars, and dancing of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And we meet some great Aussie bands. Enjoy the show. Hi Jamie, welcome back to Over 50 So What? We're going to have another chat today about how we can improve our eating habits.
Hey Carol, great to be with you.
Now, we've been talking about a few health conditions that may be impacted by an improved eating habit. You've talked about cholesterol, you've talked about blood pressure. What other sort of health conditions may benefit from an improvement in your diet?
There's a lot of discussion now whether even mental health issues, dementia, Alzheimer's and things like that are made better with a diet that has, maintains that even blood sugar. Definitely for those who are concerned about diabetes. And I think we should all be on an anti-diabetes diet or a diabetes prevention diet, because what precedes diabetes is insulin resistance or pre-diabetes. What precedes insulin resistance is fluctuating high insulin levels throughout the day. And what precedes that is spiking blood sugar in our meals. So, any foods that stimulate, the spike in blood sugar, and unfortunately, as we get older and or as we lose muscle mass, and muscles are the sugar sinks or the sugar banks of the body. So they help you stabilize your blood sugar and help you maintain metabolic health. So it's this whole genre of metabolic health. And unfortunately, 10 or 20 years before we get symptoms, we may be suffering poor metabolic health. So we don't feel bad. We don't go to the doctor about it. The doctor doesn't ask us about it. But if you're putting on extra weight around the waistline, that's probably one of the first signs, gee, there's something, going amiss with my metabolic health, or could be going wrong with my metabolic health. And maybe I should just get that checked out, particularly like a fasting blood sugar test, a glucose tolerance test, or even a fasting insulin test. But these are things you could discuss with your doctor.
Yeah, so there's improved digestion as well, on top of all the other things.
Definitely. Thanks for raising that. One of the most first things people say to us, when we put them on a program to help them lose weight is the bloating's gone. And I'm not passing wind as much as I used to. And you know what people say is, when the bloating goes away, they say, I thought that was normal to feel bloated, and it's not. So, and then there are some, unfortunately, who suffer from gastric reflux. And when we change to a predominantly fresh food eating plan, many people find that those symptoms of gastric reflux subside.
There's so many benefits to eating healthily, especially as we age. It seems to be more evident. Now, working with over 15,000 women losing weight, what was the big secret that you found has made the big difference?
Really, the big secret is that, let me go on the left hand here. If you look at the fridge, most of the foods and meals that you consume should come out of the fridge, not the pantry. Okay, the fridge, not the pantry. So if I move over to the side here, you can see, and particularly they're going to come from the bottom two drawers of the fridge. Way down the bottom is meat and fish. That's, great source of proteins. Above that, we've got veggies, particularly the green leafy veggies. Also, up to the side there, we've got eggs and dairy, great sources of protein. And I really like the idea of cooking up big at night. So we've got plenty of cold cuts for the next day, and that saves a lot of cooking time. And then even more veggies at the top. And most of our meals we eat with a knife and fork. These are cooked meals. Breakfast is typically a savory breakfast. Eggs, bacon, you can have a chop and veggies for breakfast, believe it or not. The big message I've got for you is eat mainly fresh foods out of the fridge and less foods out of the pantry. Maybe the only things out of the pantry might be herbs and salt and pepper and things like that.
So have you got some other tips for everyday people out there on eating habits, on things they could be doing in addition to what you've just mentioned? Just quick and simple things they can do to help them keep a quality of life moving forward.
The first one is to be proactive, which is pre-plan what you intend to eat, pre-plan your shopping, so you're always surrounded by the foods that are going to support a healthy eating plan for you, which is the fresh foods that go here in the fridge. So really think about it in advance. Don't be reactive like, oh, what am I going to have for lunch today? I've got to run down the shop and pick up some food and things like that. And also another tip is how to read food labels. That's the thing about this. The foods that are in the bottom drawers of your fridge, the meat, fish, and veggies, do they have food labels? They don't. So really the big tip I've got for everybody is eat less food with labels, because they're either processed foods or even worse, they're ultra-processed foods, which are addictive, high in calories, low in nutrients.
Now, what about your other thing about don't drink calories?
Behind me, you see a whole lot of oranges and apples and things like that. If I said to anybody, look, here's some apples. I want you to eat as many as you can. Most people will stop at one. Or same with oranges. But you juice those up, you'll be removing the fiber, and people will probably have the equivalent of 3 or 4 of them in a long, tall, cool orange juice, or OJ, they call it. And that's really providing too many calories, with no additional benefit. So I really encourage you to don't drink your calories. If you choose to partake in wine or beer or whatever like that, drink water for thirst, grog for flavor. So you say, gee, I'm thirsty, I think I'll have a beer or a glass of wine. That's not a good way to do it. You want to just have water or spring water or soda water or things like that, to deal with thirst, or a weak black cup of tea, black coffee, things like that. Perhaps not in the afternoon, but they will provide fluid without calories. Now,
the other thing that you're big on is keeping an eye on your waistline. Can you expand a bit more on this?
We mentioned metabolic health. Here's a simple measure. Put a tape measure around your waist, divide that by height, whether it's in centimeters or inches. If your waistline is close to 50% of your height or greater, that's highly correlated with having metabolic syndrome or insulin resistance. And you really want to be talking to your doctor about that. But really, it's the cause of it primarily is that you're eating an eating plan, a way of eating, a diet that's not suiting your body right now. So you really need to consider dietary change. Move to more, the fresh foods, the proteins and veggies and things like that. Moving away from the processed foods, more foods out of the fridge, less foods out of the pantry.
Jamie, thanks for joining us today, and thanks for creating that amazing image of the kitchen behind you, so it just helps reinforce the message.
Carol, I hope people take action straight away, today, now.
Thanks for watching our TV show. Be sure to hit subscribe and then you'll never miss an episode. Jump on Facebook, join our group, get in on the fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. I'm Carol, over 50, so what?